All right, Bridget, top story this hour. If you're just waking up, President Bush is in Iraq this morning, arriving in Anbar province about 100 miles northwest of Baghdad earlier today, making this top secret trip en route to a summit in Australia at midweek. Meeting now with U.S. forces and Iraqi leaders on the ground there. In fact, there's going to be a picture coming up here in a moment, and when we get the new one, we'll pass it to you. In the meantime, Molly Henneberg's watching this from the live from the White House, we should say. So much for a quiet day there, huh, Molly? Good morning.
That's right, Bill. No quiet Labor Day here at the White House. In fact, the White House says it's important for the president to see firsthand what the U.S. troops are doing in Iraq, so that's why he made this surprise visit, unannounced visit to Iraq. He went to that air base in Anbar, as you said, west of Baghdad, and he will be on that base for the entire visit. Right now, he's meeting with U.S. military commanders there, also with the U.S. ambassador to Iraq. The president will be giving a live speech to troops at 12:30 Eastern Time, and he will stay at that Al-Assad air base where 7,000 Marines and 3,000 Army soldiers are stationed. Later, he'll meet with Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. Defense Secretary Robert Gates also flew to Iraq ahead of the president to take part in some initial meetings. This is a critical time for the Bush administration. Next week, the top U.S. commander in Iraq and the U.S. ambassador will testify before Congress on the effectiveness of the surge. The White House also is sending its own progress report on Iraq to Congress. It takes a top-secret effort to get the president from here at the White House to Iraq without word leaking out. A small press pool went with him last night. They say the president was taken in a motorcade to Andrews Air Force Base late yesterday. He was supposed to leave for Australia today, but Air Force One took off after dark with all the shades pulled down, and the press was unable to report on the trip until after they landed with the president at about 7:45 Eastern Time this morning. Traveling with the president are National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley, Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, and his new press secretary Dana Perino. It is significant that the president landed in Al-Anbar province, which used to be a bastion of Sunni insurgency until the Sunnis teamed up with U.S. forces to fight al-Qaeda. So now the violence has gone down a bit, and the White House says this is an example of what could happen in the rest of the country. Bill?
Molly, thank you for that. So often we think about the green zone in the central part of Baghdad, which is big in its own right, but this Al-Assad air base is enormous in its breadth and its scope, and how important it is to the U.S. military operation over there. 7,000 Marines, 3,000 U.S.